So what is naturalistic decision making? In a nutshell, it's a study of how we actually make decisions. Now, many conventional decision researchers feel that they're also studying how people actually make decisions, and sometimes they are, but usually they're not, because much of their research is conducted with undergraduates, with tasks that they haven't seen before, so there's essentially zero experience. And so the result is a very structured concept and suggestion for how people can and should make decisions, a rational choice model. And the way that works is you identify several courses of action, and you set up a number of evaluation criteria. And then you evaluate each course of action on each of these criteria, and then you figure out which one has the highest score. And that's the way to be a rational decision maker. The trouble is, hardly anyone ever follows this advice. So that leaves the question, how do people actually make decisions? And so naturalistic decision researchers started to study police officers. We studied nurses, we studied pilots, physicians, military commanders, caseworkers working in the area of child protective services. They have to handle complex, high-stakes decisions under time pressure and uncertainty.
One of my favorite projects was work we did with the U.S. Air Force pararescue jumpers, often referred to as PJs. PJs are a special operations unit, so they're elite soldiers and also highly trained combat medics. They jump from airplanes, fast rope out of helicopters, climb mountains. So at the time of this study, the Air Force was exploring strategies for introducing wearable computing devices. We interviewed PJs to understand the nature of their work. One thing that became clear through this cognitive task analysis is that PJs are experts at adapting and improvising. For each mission, they determine what equipment they're most likely to need in a given situation. They wear weapons, rescue and survival equipment, and medical supplies on their bodies as they conduct these rescues. They're often operating in rain, snow, mud, and extreme temperatures. They only carry things that can withstand being jostled, bumped, dropped, wet, and muddy. So as we analyzed the incidents the PJs related to us, we concluded that it made little sense to try to incorporate a wearable computing device during an actual rescue. A computer might be useful in the relative safety of a casualty collection point. There might be some utility in having a portable computing device during the en route phase of the mission. So in this project, our cognitive task analysis highlighted not just the nature of the cognitive challenges PJs face, but also the context in which they occur. This had really important implications about how a ruggedized computing device might actually degrade performance during key mission phases.
The challenge of naturalistic decision making has been to tap into expert professional knowledge, and that's something that NDM has done very successfully over the past 35 years. Experts often find it very difficult to articulate what they're doing and why they're doing it, and NDM has developed a whole series of methods to look at that expert knowledge. The project that I was involved with was looking at engineering professionals working in a petrochemical organisation, and that organisation was really concerned about sharing knowledge of experts before they left the organisation. Tapping in and using cognitive task analysis, we trained engineers and we trained petrochemical plant workers to talk to each other and to access expert knowledge. So asking the question, why is this difficult cognitively, can pull up all kinds of different strategies in terms of looking at cues of thinking and identifying expert, professional, domain-specific experience, and build expert knowledge back into systems and back into the development of novice professionals in a range of areas.
So for many years, we weren't sure what we could do to improve decision-making skills. And then in 2010, I met up with Neil Heinz, New York Fire Department. He was a battalion chief. And he told me about some of his research with a technique that we now call shadow box. You're trying to train people to see the world through the eyes of experts, but without the experts being there. You take a complex scenario, a difficult scenario, and you insert decision points through the scenario. It could be, here's 4 different courses of action. Rank order them and write down why you ranked them that way. Or it could be, here's 3 different goals. Which is the most important to achieve? Rank order them in terms of importance and write down your reasons, your rationale. Or it could be, here's 5 different pieces of information. Rank order how vital each one is and write down why you ranked them that way. And so that's what the trainee does. Independently and in parallel, we have a small panel of experts. They've gone through the same scenario. So now when I go through the training and I do my ranking, I get to see, how did the experts rank these options? And I want my ranking to match the experts. But I also get to see, what were the experts noticing? What did they write down? And it's amazing the things that the experts see in the same scenario that I would miss. The kinds of inferences they make, the implications they see, the problems they spot, the leverage points that they can identify. And so Shadowbox is a way to have people see the world through the eyes of experts. Not the entire world, but the world of this scenario. You can think of it as putting on some sort of magic goggles that allow you to see the same scene that you just went through the eyes of experts. As we provide this kind of training in a variety of settings, we find that it allows people to scale up their expertise and to improve their decision making.